moving on to our. We're now breaking into the top 5. Very exciting. We have. Who do we have? Aftershock. Wow, that's me. So we have Beefy, Holmes, myself, Chutch, Fuggin, and Exile. So for those that follow the Aftershock roster, you'll notice that Mikey's not here. Don't fret, he'll be back. He's just decided to go to England for 6 weeks on a holiday with his partner and his family. Aftershock's a team of 5 for nationals. So us missing Mikey, we were like, all right, let's go ask someone to come. And Exile was who we chose. So yeah, we've been. I don't know. I guess I should talk about my own team first. Please fix your name. Yeah, sorry, hold up. His name on Facebook is Jamie, but Jamie Durden. I like that. That's good. Jimmy Durden. That's good.
That's what they signed up with.
It is like the Who did their bloody thing? Pretty sure I did. Actually, no, Sean did. Fuggin did. So that's Fuggin's fault. Anyway, Jimmy Durden.
Don't hate me, hate your captain.
So, yeah. So, I guess I don't know. You could expect some different stuff to what you saw at Prenuts 1. Obviously, Prenuts 1, we didn't have Chutch. We did have Mikey. And we had Jesse from Adrenaline. So it's a different look. And then also in terms of like the positions we play will be different as well. So Prenuts 1, Fuggin was leading, and they were going out with Jesse first, and then kind of cycling through the team. I was going out towards the end just because I was having problems with my hip at Prenuts 1. So I was just filling that last line position and avoiding going out as much as I could, so I didn't destroy myself. But I'm back, baby. I'm back to 100%. So to be more kind of what you saw in Bendigo with me going out on attack with Fuggin to begin with, trying to get some bases, and then I guess if I can get my bases, I'll probably fill to last line, and then yeah, just play a standard, pretty standard game, I guess. You know, we've been training hard, we've been training a lot every week. You know, we've got a few things we've been working on, but it's nothing crazy. It's more just keeping on perfecting our standard game, and then just adding more tools to the toolbox, I guess, is a way of putting it. But we've been training with Exile as well for the last couple of weeks. He's been doing pretty good. Obviously, going from one team to another, at least on Aftershock, we've got a lot of things that we do a specific way, I guess. So it's taking a little bit of time for Exile to adjust to those changes. But you know, we've got another week of training. So we've got this Monday coming up before we get to Prenuts. Yeah, I'm sure he'll fill in quite nicely. Though we will miss Mikey's presence. But yeah, also it'll be amazing to have Chutch back. Chutch was just ruining our lives at Prenuts 1, just slapping us about single-handedly. So we're very happy to have her back. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Who's playing where? Who's your last line before you get back?
So Beefy will be starting will be the opening last line.
And then he plays with Dora afterwards.
Yeah. Once I have both, I'll probably be taking that last line position off of him, depending on what happens, I guess. Maybe if I don't get both towards the beginning of the game, I'll stay on the door instead. But also, like, we'll see. Like, maybe Beefy has the potential. You know, he's one of the legend last lines. Maybe he just like is unshootable in X base or whatever, or in all the bases. So if that's the case, then it's very much we're incentivized to just leave him in there. But we'll see what happens. I did last line pretty much all of Prenuts 1. So in terms of last lining in Hobart, I have the most experience as well. So that might serve us well.
Yeah, I do remember Beefy being very solid in at least red from what I saw. So I think that's a decent swap out. So yeah, I think you guys are very well rounded and are going to do very well. You guys have Nexus, so should be good at the phaser discipline. I think if you guys can keep the intensity up the whole comp, I think you guys will do well. Because yeah, pre-nuts 2, I think we saw it drop a bit. So hopefully we see the intensity stay up and you guys are properly like playing to your full strength. And I think that's pretty much what we're saying. We don't have Mitch, which does suck, but Exile's an amazing swap out. So like, yeah, an amazing pickup for the team. So I think you guys will do well.
Spides, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I think out of everyone in the comp, your team's like the one team that we clash with the most. We see like our team within your team, and I think you see similar stuff. So I think it's always exciting to kind of see how you go. I'm still a bit upset that like we still don't have a full lineup. I know how much like just even one player can change the whole game, but I think that's just going to make nationals so much more exciting. Exile's like, yeah, probably for many people like one of the best people in zone just to like be around. So I think he'll bring a lot to your team in terms of just personality. And yeah, he's always got a smile and he's always composed. So I think that's what you need to like push hard in this competition.
Yeah, for sure. I think yeah, it was annoying we were never able to get a full Aftershock roster to pre-nuts for sure. Mikey especially recently has been doing really well, having a massive presence in the arena, like no matter what position he's playing, and just making like, you know, I think overall just a bit of insight, rather than putting all the onus on our in-game leader Fuggen to make decisions on everything. We're trying to obviously he's does most of it, but you know, we've all played for long enough. I've captained teams at nationals, Mikey's captained teams at nationals, Beefy's I think captain teams at nationals as well. You know, between all of us, we all kind of know when things are going bad, when things are going good. So we're trying to just as individuals trying to play smarter and helping Sean Fuggen to make good decisions and stuff. That's been kind of the main project we've been working on the last few months, and it's been going pretty damn well. So I'm excited to see how it. The big thing is like we've been feeling really comfortable and confident in our arena, but we'll see how well it translates to Hobart. You know, the way we played at home didn't translate at all like to Bendigo, and same thing in Darwin. Like we had to drastically change like everything, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Any last things to say about Aftershock before we move on to our 4th place team?
No,
yeah, I think your team, from my perspective, has always kind of been like right on the brink of finals, and you just can't seem to like crack that last golden game. So yeah,
all three of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll use your own terminology, but I really hope like this comp you've got some like secret sauce or something that you can just kind of like whip out and just use it to finally get in there, because yeah, you're one of the teams that just needs to be there, and you're just always falling that tiny bit short. So you're in the right space. You just got to like have that one good game, and then that'll get you all the experience you need, I reckon.
Yeah. Just got to win the games when it really matters. Those pesky golden games. Anyway,
I think
we'll move on.
the good thing for you is like you're consistently there. Like you're always in the right spot.
Yeah.
It's just that last step. So yeah, I reckon you guys will get it.
No, I'm really excited for Prenuts 3. I think I was at Prenuts 1, but I didn't feel like I really properly got to play just because of my injury. I was just last lining the whole time. So I know what the inside of the bases look like. But the rest of the arena, not so much. So I'm really excited to be 100% full force. I can't wait to see how I go. Anyway, enough about me. Moving on to our 4th place team. We have Moon Boys. So we have Taipan, Mopar, Robo, Butza, Dark Passion, and Orkarai. So I had Moon Boys in 4th. Run also had them in 4th. Spider also had them in 4th. So we were actually the next 4 teams, like from now on, that's me. Run and Spider, we were all unanimous in our predictions. It was only the community ones that were a bit different. But anyway, community had them in 5th place, which gave them overall 4th place. Yeah, I guess first off, I just want to say, Butzer obviously took Bendigo off. Did play Darwin, but was on like a development team. So I'm really, really excited to see if the old man still got it. But who wants to talk about the Moon Boys first?
I think go for it.
Yeah. No, I just like look at all the teams in this list, and I think out of everyone, this team just like seems big. It's like all the names on there are big names, big players, like heaps of experience. Just like so much potential to do really well. Hence why I think they're in 4th. But I also think when you look at like the individuals and like track records, you can see a lot of potential to butt heads and have arguments and disagreements. So I think as long as like the whole team stays intact, skill wise in the maze, they'll have no problem. But I think the only concern is just like how well they mesh. It's basically just like your Eclipse Maroons combo kind of vibe. But yeah, it's good to see Dark Passion back up in Queensland playing with like a strong team again, back to some roots. And yeah, obviously Butzer coming back is like, doesn't matter how old that guy gets, he'll still be playing like he's 20.
Yeah. No, I think so this is the same roster as other than two roster changes that came 3rd in Bendigo Nuts. So since then they've lost Adam and Lilbo. Adam's not playing. Oh, I just put the thing. Adam's not playing this year, and then Lilbo's been poached by the Catalyst boys. But I mean, Butzer and Dark Passion, as far as pickups go, not bad. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, Run, your turn.
I think Butzer's gonna love this maze. He's gonna immediately know where to play and play it well. I think it really, really suits him. Dark Passion has also been great in this maze. Like he can still get his bases, which is what he loves to do. So we'll see him first out every game as usual, and he'll do well with it. So I think this is going to be a very strong team. Interestingly, Taipan and Orcry are a bit slower to get the hang of the arena and the packs, so I'm very curious if they've been training and having their mindset on Helios 2 while training recently, because if they don't, that could be where and Robo and stuff who don't know the packs, if they haven't been training with the mindset of H2, they might struggle a little bit. But yeah, the names, I mean, they're just insane. Like, this is just such a strong team of pack-on-pack players. I'm very curious to see where each one of them plays, because like looking at that, is Robo your last line? Because he's the only one that's ever really done it, I think. I don't know if I don't know if this is the best suited basis to Robo, but I'm very curious to see where they play him, for example. But yeah, very strong team. A lot of individual thinking might do very well for them or might do very poorly for them. So not too sure which way that will go, because everyone knows the game.
Someone did say, a shoot-in TV said in the chat that the team has over 100 years of laser tag experience. They did the math, which is nuts.
That's just Butzer.
Yeah, so yeah, true. But yeah, I guess kind of to add on to what Spider was saying, I could see a couple of these players like really butting heads and getting heated and stuff. It's definitely been, from even like watching the Eclipse guys come out of games, there was definitely a few times where like tempers were like bloody like so if they can keep that under control, yeah, 4th place is very deserved. Obviously being like a finalist from last nationals, you can never count them out from making it to the finals, but I mean the 3 teams above them is just what the hell. But yeah, is there any last things we want to say about Moon Boys before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Ninja said maybe they put Mopar in last line so we can't get denied. That's a good point.
I don't think you'll ever see it. Mopar
Yeah,
will always
if you wanna
find a
throw
way
out-
into that base and get it denied.
I'll be back in 1 sec, guys. All right. Cool. Moving on to our finalists. We're bloody. I was expecting to be here for 3 hours. We're putting a good pace on. Well done, us. Pat on the back. All right, we're on to our finalists now. So in third place, we have Catalyst. Seems crazy seeing them in third place, but I guess we'll talk about the teams above them. In a little, I think it's like, it makes sense. But anyway, so on the team we have Grub. They have new pickup Lilbo, and then they got Wax, Wamfox, Husky, and Dodge. So Lilbo's replacing Volley from Bendigo Nationals. Obviously, Catalyst won Bendigo Nationals, so returning champs. Really excited to see how these guys go. But so I had them predicted for third. Rut had them predicted for third. Spider had them predicted for third, and the community predictions had them predicted for second. Excuse me. Man. I don't know. Who wants to talk about them first? Shoddy.
I'll
Yeah.
just say the community are brave putting these guys above Spartans. They're bloody good, but like none of them have played the arena or the packs, so I think we're hoping a lot out of them, especially for a second place. So yeah. Did you want to speak to these guys first, Spider?
Yeah, sure. Wham did come to Prenats, so he
True.
I'm still convinced he probably just did a little scouting mission and then fed a bunch of info back.
And Lilbo, yeah.
I think personally it's hard to not be biased because this is one of my favorite teams in the whole competition, just personality wise. I think it could be rough. When I was putting teams in listings, I'm pretty much just banking on their knowledge of the game. I don't think they're going to do amazing on the packs. I don't think they're going to love the maze. I think they'll get pretty upset at change because their whole winning streak came from the Helios era, and to now have a whole new pack, it'll really push them and see how they adapt to that. Lil Bo jumping on the team. Haven't heard much about the Queensland scene and how that little mix is going. But
Little
yeah,
mix.
I
Nice,
think
nice.
yeah, I didn't actually mean that, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see where people play, how the roles mix up and stuff like that. I know that Wham was I spoke to him early days of Prenats, and he said it was just absolute rough because he's the man that just stands on the door and just no one gets through his baseline, and then now he's kind of having to move around a lot. But I think by the end of Prenats, he really picked up the flow. And even if he wasn't absolutely loving it, he was still his scores were still loving it. So I think as a team, we're all going to bank on them just performing. But I wouldn't be too surprised if they kind of dropped out of the finals in Prenats. But I think either way, come nationals, they'll kind of do the usual thing of just coming out of nowhere and getting a really good placement.
Yeah, I think if this was a longer tournament, I would have had them higher. But yeah, it's even though they are the champs, the returning champs, just the fact that the limited experience they have on H2, as in only Wham and Lilbo have been to Hobart so far, and just the exposure to the arena. Yeah, I think it'll be a really big test for these guys. But they've risen to the occasion many times before, so it's also entirely possible that they come out and just smash it. But I think realistically, just out of Prenats, it's not enough time to adjust to a new system and a new arena, especially when the two teams above them have way more experience in the arena and on H2. So yeah, that's kind of why I had them in third below the other two teams. If it was an H Pro comp, then I'd probably have them in first. But new system. So I'm really excited to see how these guys transition to a new system. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think these players have always been good at picking stuff up is the thing. Like they're so ingrained in H Pro, but like also they're so young and like they are all players which should be more than capable of picking up the system. So and sometimes it works well to not be used to H Pro and stuff, but sometimes like Spider, for example, mostly plays Pro and he picked it up amazing. So I think these guys still can definitely do it. I think that these is kind of the best maze ever for Husky in terms of like we're gonna actually see how good an anchor Husky is, and he's insane. So this maze really gives agency to the anchors. They have the freedom to move around, to push through the doors, to get to do that sort of offensive defense, and to really be wherever the hell they think they can do best. And Husky knows the game so well on defense, so he's going to be amazing at that. If he can just not get his gunshot, he'll be the best anchor there, hands down. And that wins games in this maze. It's actually insane trying to verse an anchor that's moving around, that knows what the sequencing, that's ready for every door. So I think he's going to go off. Wax has apparently been doing like a lot of work on like playing with the screen out and actually like preparing for H2, so he might not be sad, which would be insane. But and yeah, if he's not, he'll crash this maze. I think the maze suits pretty much all of them really well. That sort of like just heaps of pack pointing and heaps of like agency to solo players to just like really do whatever you want essentially. You're not relying on that other attacker to like pin a door while you go in. You can just do it all yourself if you know how, and these guys will figure that out. So I think they're going to do well. But yeah, I think if they do lose early games, that could just corrupt their mindset from the get-go. Like I think random teams like Angels that they would have never ever lost to at Bendigo might just beat them in this maze, and if that sort of thing annoys them, we could see them go downhill. But yeah, it's tough to see them like dropping too far below third, even though there is a really good chance they don't make finals because of the level of competition and their inexperience.
Yeah, I think very astute observation. You know, if they can keep their composure, keep their cool, you know, learn stuff from the games that I fully expect them to lose early on in the comp, you know, they could very, very well be in finals. But if it gets to them, maybe not. That's again up to you guys. But any last thoughts on Catalyst before we move on?
I'm keen to see Dodge challenged, like, because Bendigo, everyone hyped him up, but it felt like none of the other teams were at their level, so we didn't see what he could really do.
Yeah.
I think this comp will see what Dodge can actually do.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a bloody tall, young, lanky fella, so I fully see him sprinting around the arena. And yeah, very, very true. Hopefully, we get to see a little bit more of Dodge because it was kind of, I don't know, like you said, it was like hyped up a lot, but maybe got overshadowed just by the team as a whole. Dodge is dead. Fair enough, Wax. All right. Any last things before we move on?
I think Catalyst. They're pretty notorious for like a 2-3 kind of setup. So it'll be really interesting to see how that adapts into this maze and like who plays where and what roles happen. I would love to see like a little shift and see like kind of who goes where. So yeah, I think just watching this team from my perspective will be one of the more enjoyable parts.
100%. Well, yeah. Best of luck to Catalyst. Can't wait to see all you boys. And play some bloody laser tag. This time next week, we'll be doing it. How cool. All right. Moving on to our second place team. We're the Spartans. Madcans, Potato, Link, Zeropa, Peregrine, and the Leg. All of us had Spartans in second, and the community predictions had them in third. I think all of these players, bar Zeropa and the Leg, have been to pre-nuts, if I'm not mistaken.
Potato hasn't. And
Zeta
Zeropa
hasn't as well.
Zeropa
Yeah.
also hasn't, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Madcans, Link, and Peregrine have been to the first two, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure, Madcans was just in there downloading bloody data. And yeah, I don't know. Spartans are always like just such a scary team to come up against. They're always very disciplined. They always seem like they know what they're doing. Sometimes it feels like they have more players than they do, like in the arena. Just the way that they're moving their players around and all of that. But yeah, I didn't play Prenuts 2, so I can't really speak on how they performed at Prenuts 2. Can I don't know, you would have versed them in the finals run, so what can you say about Spartans and what you're expecting?
We versed some of them in the finals. It's really tough to judge this team based on prenuts because they could be they could just have the core three and then sub in people that have never touched the system that are worse, but more likely it's going to be sub in people that really know what they're doing that fit the team dynamic perfectly. So I think even though finals against them was not that difficult, we'll see a lot more
Hey.
challenge from this team.
Yeah, nice. Give it up. It's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Prenuts 2 I felt more confident than I do against going into Prenuts 3. Peregrine's perfectly built for these bases. He seems to love them. You got Link, who picked up the system instantly and absolute god. Straight off the bat, instantly creating fancy phaser flips and stuff and great phaser discipline. And Cans, who kind of similar to what I was saying about Dodge. Prenuts 1, he just rocked up and tried to duel people in the open like he does on Pro, but Prenuts 2, he realized that wouldn't work and he actually played the game. And seeing Cans play properly is something I haven't seen for years. So I really like seeing him have to push himself, and he played way better as a result. So I think he's going to be playing well at Prenuts 3 as well, like moving around properly, really making defenders lose track of him. And you sub in Potato, who's got a similar playstyle, will go great. Zeropa, he's more of an outside door, just stand in the open kind of defender. So I think this system will punish him a bit, and the leg I think will still go very well because very panel-y. If you know how to panel, you can play the system well. So they're going to be a strong team. I think they'll easily be top 2. I don't think they'll be contested for. I think they'll be significantly stronger than Catalyst, for example, or whoever's a bit below them. Where they get first or second, I'm not too sure. I'm of the mindset they haven't had enough time, but yeah, if they've actually studied the games properly and know the mazes meta now, then we'll see them do well. Or I'm really hoping they invent their own stuff because they tried at Prenuts 2, but it didn't work. But maybe with their actual team, we'll see them invent something and make it work.
Yeah, Spides, what you got to say, mate?
Yeah, so with my predictions, I asked my whole team to do it as well, and then we use the average for my prediction list. But as an individual, I somehow put these guys in first. I was kind of banking on them coming together as a team. I think was it pre-2, Brendan? They took 1 game off you or something. Yeah. So it's they're kind of getting close. Pre-1 they weren't really there. Pre-2 they started getting some pretty close games. Obviously, still, Vikings kind of taking the lead, but I think I'm just going to put it down to them not having their roster and the players that know what their team does. Yeah, I really want to see these guys contest Vikings, and I think Vikings kind of want it too. They really want to be destroyed. And when everyone goes oh, you lost, I don't think you really care as either team. I think it's kind of this little rivalry where Vikings kind of know that they're not going to get away a full nationals just doing the same thing, so they need someone to compete against them to do that. And I think Spartans will just claim that spot straight away. We got enough experience. Kansas studied that maze inside and out. He's written I don't know, 2 absolute massive story thick books of like notes of how the maze plays and what teams do. So yeah, I'm really rooting for them, and I hope that they like can test you guys a lot, because I think that little like competition between the two teams will be sick to watch.
Yeah, I think you know, where we were saying with Catalyst, we could see them actually dropping quite a few games so that the teams predicted below them just because they got to get adjusted. I don't see Spartans dropping those games to the teams below them. So I fully expect them to be sitting in second place for like the entire tournament. Whereas Catalyst, you know, potentially we could see them starting a little lower, but I expect them to come back. But yeah, like we said, it wasn't a full Spartans roster at Prenuts 1 or 2. It was just the three of Madcans, Link and Peregrine. But yeah, no, I think if yeah, I'm also, like you were saying, Ron, I'm kind of keen for them to maybe try some different stuff. You know, if everyone's just playing the same thing, that's boring. You know, if they can make up some new stuff, that'd be really interesting. And they're definitely like the team to watch for, you know, doing things differently to like you guys, for instance. I think so. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about them. I don't think. Do you guys got anything you want to add before we move on to our first place team?
I think it was interesting. An adage that Spider always says is you don't beat a team by like mimicking them. If a team already knows how to do something and you mimicking them, then you're never going to be stronger than them doing that. So Magma were by far the most effective doing what Vikings do. So I wonder if they can beat us by mimicking that, or if they're going to be forced to create their own thing to beat us. So hopefully it's the latter, because that's far more interesting to me.
For sure. Alrighty, Spy, do you got anything else you want to add before we move on?
Not really. I think having Zeropa in the leg and Potato there is going to fill out the team. Like, it kind of covers all spots in the maze. So I think their like team setup in the maze will be strong in like every area. I don't really see a weakness until you've watched them play the packs and stuff.
Yeah, very well-rounded team for sure. Well, yeah. Good luck to Spartans. Very exciting to see how they go. All right. Who'd have thunked it? First place, Hobart Vikings, Runt, CV, Leper, Twinkles, Gandhi, and Karen, and everyone unanimously, including the community, put them in predicted first place. Yeah, Runt, how are you feeling going into this one? Maybe how's your training's been? How'd you feel about what you got out of Prenuts 2, and, you know, all of that kind of stuff?
We didn't lose much in Prenuts 2, so we didn't get much out of it. Our training's been more of the same. We just keep doing it, and it keeps on going decently. We're a bit rusty kind of recently because we haven't played that many team games recently because people have been off doing things. But like, I don't know. I feel like myself and like Twinkles, for example, got over to New Zealand, like got to like, and Karen, and like got to like refresh our like thoughts on like laser tag and another maze on another system. So I got to go back to pro, go, okay, what skills do I need to remember to pro to reintegrate back into my game? So yeah, I think we're still going to be playing as solidly as we have been. It's just whether or not other teams have learnt how to counter that or not. I think, I don't know, it's tough to see other teams with so little time coming in and just like beating us by being better than us. I think they're gonna have to either create something new, or we're gonna have to just throw finals. Which, like, that's a great possibility. Like, that's an easily doable possibility. Gandhi loves getting denied. CV on a bad game can get denied by Canberra like 7 times in a row. So like, I'm not saying we're a shoe in for first or anything. I'd rather get second. What was it? Wolfpack said the best thing that ever happened to them was like losing in Prenuts 3. So we want to do that. Because otherwise we'll just keep on training the same, and that would be boring. So we want to lose Prenuts 3. And yeah, we want to see the cracks in our in our gameplay, and yeah, we'll see how we go.
Cool. Spider, what do you want to say about the Vikings?
Yeah, I think I kind of combined Spartans and Vikings into one with the Spartans recap, but I think from what our team has discussed, we think it might play different for you guys when you have two. It'll probably end up being Queensland, but two like full top tier national teams in the maze at the same time. I don't think you've like experienced that yet. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's the kind of situation that you need to find the gaps, even if you're not losing games, just having like close calls and stuff like
yeah,
that, and like feeling the pressure.
yeah. That's a good point. I'm so keen for those games, man. Like, because
Yeah, I think you'll definitely like probably lose more than one game this pre-match. But yeah, whether that's like due to just being beaten or little slip ups or things that you're not like ready for, I don't know. I still think you're like easily going to make finals. I don't think that's a question. But yeah, what I'm looking forward to is seeing the pressure, and yeah, I'm pretty sure your whole team's keen to feeling the pressure because, like you said, you're just gonna keep doing the same thing. If it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. But yeah, I hope like if you do get pressured, you do have some sort of backup, because the thing I'd hate to see is like you not be able to like fight back if you did start like dropping. So you're all smart players, but yeah, I'm hoping that you have like backup plans too, because if like that scenario does happen, I want to see like a nice good fight.
yeah,
Yeah, very good point by Spides. Like, you know, the level of the competition at Pre-Nuts 3 is completely different to Pre-Nuts 1 and 2. It's also the competition where everyone's, you know, within the top teams have some experience in the arena and on H2 net by now. Yeah. You know, it's those games where you have like 3 top tier teams plays completely differently to 2 top tier teams and 1 not top tier team, and then again like when you got 1 top tier and 2 not top tier team. It's all of those games, all of those variations with like top, mid, and like bottom, like lower level teams. They all play completely differently, and I think yeah, you guys haven't had as much exposure to the 3 top tier in one game. So yeah, like Spider was saying, like the pressure in those games is like so much higher because you know the margin of error is so much smaller as well. But you know, hopefully, you know, nice guy Ryan thinks hopefully you guys drop some games and you're able to learn a lot from this pre-nuts. But then evil mean competitor me is like, nah, hopefully like smash it again and the nationals comes and then yeah. Nah. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. And I definitely expect you guys to drop more than one game at this pre-nuts. I would be both impressed and disappointed if you guys absolutely blow out the competition once again. But yeah, any last things we want to say for the Vikings?
One interesting thing is I think we're weaker out of green than we were on the old maze. Most teams get stronger through those wings. We get weaker because Karen was really good at those wings at the tee before them. Now he hasn't been too strong on that tee, and neither is Gandhi. So
Interesting.
yeah. In the nicest possible way, yeah. Like Tiger is the strongest anchor on green at the moment, so like we probably want our players to be that because we're meant to be the top team. But yeah, hopefully with a bit of training we get to have that really strong anchor and we can play out of green effectively, because that would be really sad if we're just weak at a new base.
Write it down, folks. Write it down. If you can get Vikings on green. Anyway.